Our new process is going to have three sections. The I do section, which is when I lead you through examples. And the second section is the we do section. So that's collaborative. You do the problems first, like practice. And then after that, you view the video to check your answers. And then the last section you do is the section you do the problems on your own. And that section you'll be submitting to me through Teams. All right. So each section, each topic will have three parts now. And I do, just teacher does, we do, you do it first, then check your answers. I'm sorry, we do, you do it first, then check your answers, and then you do on your own, and you submit. All right, so having said that, let's go ahead and look at the solving equations problems. So I've got x minus 5 over 2x minus 7 equals 3. When I'm solving this, I want to clear out the fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by that 2x minus 7. And that clears out my denominator. Then I distribute the 3. I want my x's on one side and my numbers on the other. So I'm going to move the 21 by adding it to both sides and move the x by subtracting it from both sides. So you end up with 5x equals 16. Divide both sides by 5, and we can leave our answer as the fraction 16/5. Solving literal equations for a variable, something that students normally struggle with. You'll notice that this is a proportion. So here we've got a cross multiply situation. Throw some parentheses on there, just so you remember that you have to multiply times both variables. So if we cross multiply, we've got d times r minus 9f equals s minus 10f times v plus 5. Distribute the d. We've got dr minus 9fd. Well, I should go in the same order. df is equal to, and then this you have to FOIL, so you're distributing that s to both. So you're going to have sv plus 5s, and then you're distributing the negative 10f to both. So I've got negative 10fv minus 50f. We're solving for f in terms of the other variables. So anything with an f, we're moving to the left, and anything without, we move to the right. So dr does not have an f, so that's going to move to the right-hand side by subtraction. And then I've got 2 with an f on the right-hand side, so that 10fv moves over by addition. And the 50f moves over as well. So the dr's cancel. All right. None of these on the left-hand side are like terms, so they end up just being written out. 50f minus 9df plus 10fv equals, and then we have sv plus 5s, and we've got that minus dr. All right, we're almost there. Notice all of our terms on the left have an f, so we're going to factor that out, or as Ethan says, undistribute it. So this f, we're going to take all of those out and pull them forward. All right, so when we do that, we'll have an f out front, and then we'll have 50 minus 9d plus 10v, and that's going to equal sv plus 5s minus dr. And we want just f, so we're going to divide both sides by what we have in parentheses. and this cancels. So our final answer is f equals this guy. All right, so that was a little bit long, but we're just solving for a variable. Now we're given an expression x over y, and we're told it's negative 10 over 7. So we're looking for the opposite of y over x. So if x over y is 10 over 7, or x divided by y is negative 10 over 7, then y divided by x, we just have to flip that. So we have negative 7 divided by 10. And we're looking for negative y over negative x, so the opposite of y over x. So that would be positive 7 over 10. All right, and lastly, we have to solve for a constant. So with problems where we have something in parentheses squared that we're solving for, we have to isolate that and then use the square root to undo the squared. Or if we're solving for something that's in a square root, we're going to get that by itself and cancel it out using the squared. All right, so that's just a little reminder. So here we've got 9 times the square root of a plus 5 plus x equals 8. We're looking for the constant a if x is equal to negative 10. So we've got 9 times the square root of a plus 5. And then instead of plus x, I'm going to put plus negative 10. You could also have written minus 10. We want to get that negative 10 to the other side, right? Because our goal is to get that square root by itself so we can get rid of it. So I've got 8, whoa, yikes. 18 equals 9 square root a plus 5. Divide both sides by 9. And lo and behold, we have that square root by itself. So once we've got the square root by itself, we're going to use the square to get rid of it. So we square both sides. The squared and the square root cancel. So I've got a plus 5 equals 2 squared, which is 4. Subtract 5. A equals negative 1. All right, so that's it for the I do. Go ahead and copy those down. And now the we do is the practice. So go ahead and do those practice problems and then watch the video.